Hello and welcome to the Arkansas Weather Blog. We are your ticket to big weather events. We want a big snow event. This ain't gonna be it. At least I don't think so at this point. Again, the main limiting factor is going to be the warm surface temperatures. It's just almost perfect aloft. In fact, it is for this to come down. But I want to show you some key things where I think this is going to happen and my personal thoughts about all this. And this is going to go again into some very in-depth stuff here. So I like to also not only just show you the weather, but explain it. That's what I love doing here on the blog. You're looking here, I'm going to use a lot of this here from weatherbell.com. But the first thing I want to do is show you how bad the NAM was. First of all, this was 2 days ago. The 0Z NAM, you see here, this was again a couple days ago. Boy, it was cranking out a lot of snow. And a lot of this that you see here in western Arkansas was supposed to be falling right now. And it's all rain. I mean, this was indicating 8 to 10 inches, which was just everybody on Twitter and social media, oh yeah, it's going to happen. And then the next run came out and it was down to 2 to 3 inches, and then more shifting on and focusing on the upper level low and still cranking out way too much. So that was the NAM 2 days ago, and then the following run. All right, so let's minimize that and let me show you the newest NAM. Wow, what a difference. Still, I think it's a lot closer, but overdoing it. Mena, it's got 2 to 3 inches around Mena. And then even in the western Pulaski County up to an inch, maybe a little bit more. And I think it's overdoing it. But I think it's also showing this is the area, maybe a little further north here of the state, that has the best chance for seeing a few snowflakes tomorrow. So I just wanted to point that out, how bad the NAM is. Or at least it's not always that bad, but why you really cannot trust that model 36 hours and later, a lot of the times for specifics. Now we're looking at the HRRR, doing a good job with the rain across the state. But another thing, I don't like just to show you the weather, I like to explain it. Notice we got rain across the state this morning, nothing too heavy. And just off the surface it's snow, but it's not working its way down because we're in the 40s. But I want you to pay attention to what happens here along the Gulf Coast, Texas, Louisiana, and the northern Gulf of Mexico. Watch the thunderstorms flare up here and watch the rain decrease here as I go throughout time. Let me move this down just a little bit so I can see the timestamp on this. So see the thunderstorms blow up in East Texas along the Gulf Coast this afternoon. Watch how that rain decreases this afternoon. See all that? This is by, I want to see here, 4 p.m., 5, 6. So at 6 o'clock today, yeah, there's some showers around. It's a lot less than this morning. And what's happening here are the thunderstorms along the Gulf Coast are really kind of sucking all the moisture available and focusing it in this area. Yeah, you still get some rain towards the north, but the coverage and the intensity decreases. So as that moves away and the upper level dynamics, the upper levels of the atmosphere, the heart of the storm system pulls out, that's when we see the precipitation increase again, and that's going to be late tonight and tomorrow. And it's coming in, watch this. Now this is as far out as the model goes. 15 hours. It updates every hour. It's called the high resolution rapid refresh. But the thunderstorms move off, and then we watch the upper level dynamics pull through for Friday morning. You get the cooling, the dynamic cooling from that, along with the nighttime cooling, and you're going to get temperatures in the mid-30s. So now let's jump ahead to the NAM. And like I said, you can trust that, at least have some faith in the NAM once you get within about 36 hours. So that's this morning, doing a good job. Watch what happens. Thunderstorms. This is at 6 o'clock. It's too heavy with the rain here, but there's thunderstorms along the Gulf. The focus is southern Arkansas. Here comes the upper level dynamics here. Now let's go out to, let's see, that's 18 hours. Let's go out to 24 hours. This would be at midnight. And then this is at 3 a.m. and then 6 a.m. This is where I'm going to stop at 6 a.m. on Friday morning. The 32-degree line, the freezing line at the surface, is here, north. All temperatures here, and I'm going to show you here what surface temperatures are just off the surface temperatures, are hovering in the mid-30s. But this is rain, and I'm not going to get into the specific, this is called a deformation zone. But anyway, the upper level dynamics work in, and you see these pixels of blue showing up. And if you look here on your legend, that's snow. So if you look here in the Ouachita's, the higher elevations, you see that there's the possibility of the rain starting to mix with snow before sunrise on Friday. So that's at 30 hours. Now watch what happens at 33. You get the upper level low, and this is the best chance, I think, between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. from the higher elevations of Polk, Montgomery, Garland County, Saline County, maybe even the Benton and Bryant area, Pulaski County, especially western Pulaski County up through Conway in this area, according to the NAM, that we could have rain mixed with snow. Notice the 32-degree line stays towards the north. But I want to show you something very important in just a second, how you can get pockets of near freezing temperatures in this area if and only if precipitation rates are high enough. That's when you can get the temperature to hold at 35 and then all of a sudden, for a brief amount of time, drop down to 33, 34, and then pop back up once the precipitation rate decreases. So it would be very brief, and I'll go more into that in just a second. Notice that by noon, we have enough warming at the surface that most of this is noon on Friday, most of this is back to a plain rain and then it lifts towards the north, but there still could be some pockets in the higher elevations of a little rain snow mix. Now let's go to the surface temperatures at 15Z, which is at 9 a.m. And they're marginal. If these were 5 degrees colder, I'd be gung-ho about it, or even just 3 degrees colder. But it's showing 35, 38, 37. So what's going on here, temperatures are in the mid-30s. You can still, with the way this storm system is moving through and with the cold air aloft and the marginal surface temperatures, you can still get snowflake production coming down to the ground if the intensity, so this is something to watch, if the intensity is high enough. So these snowflakes fall down, they don't have time to melt, and it's just these big wet snowflakes that come down, they splotch on the ground. You can actually hear them hit the ground if the intensity is high enough. If the intensity is high enough, you can hear them splotch on the ground and then they melt. Can it accumulate at 30? If you start getting this precipitation rate high enough, the temperature could be 35, 36 degrees, and then it just edges down for a brief period of time to 33, 34. And then you can get accumulation on grassy surfaces if it comes down. The roads, I think, are just going to be wet and too warm. So on grassy surfaces, in some isolated areas, there could be brief accumulation on grassy surfaces at best. I'm looking for I'm really stretching here. I'm looking for anything for you. And I mean, and that's not just wish casting. That's what can happen in these situations. So what I'm looking at is this system, comparing it to past systems that have come through that look similar to this, and that has happened before. So it is a possibility that on grassy accumulations, and the favored area would once again be areas just north and west of Little Rock, maybe even western Pulaski County and the metro, portions of the metro, but I would really suspect the areas just north and west of Little Rock, especially those higher elevations. I was talking to the weather ninja, Michael Hook, and I was talking to him, if I had to pick an area, my sweet spot, I would say it's somewhere along the Montgomery and Yell County line, somewhere in this area of the state, I would say that we may get some photos of the ground turning white. So we'll see how this pans out. Don't get your hopes up. Kids, do your homework. I've talked too long. I hope that, you know, one of my goals here at the Arkansas Weather Blog is to share my passion with the weather, and not just tell you the weather, but to explain it. Because, you know, we are always trying to figure out what she's going to throw at us. And I find it fascinating to try to guess her next move, and with an educated guess based on data, based on past experiences and all that. So there's always curveballs, we can always hope. So, but that's the way I think things could unfold for tomorrow morning. So it's a little bit, but do your homework. I think there's going to be school. I'll keep you updated. Believe me, I will be watching it. Thank you very much for coming to the Arkansas Weather Blog. We are your ticket to big weather events.